Now, one of the very significant things about social media is it's mostly done online and it's mostly done with computers and stuff like that there. And as you can see, I don't have a PowerPoint presentation, so this is what would be your PowerPoint coming down each side of the room. And you'll get another piece of paper in a minute. Also, I have some comment sheets, but if you have any questions during this presentation, I'm sorry, I have 20 minutes. I don't have time to do open questions and answers, but if you have questions, write them on these sheets and turn them in when you turn stuff in, so that maybe we can get to them later, and you'll find out about a little something I'm offering for WeSource people in a week and a half. So today I am, in the limited time that we have here, I'm just going to talk about boosting your profile, and I'm going to talk about it on both LinkedIn and Facebook. Let's see if I can get that done in that amount of time. Oh, and Jean, give me a 5 warning, okay? Okay, so I have a quick question. Who has a LinkedIn profile? Okay, who has a Facebook business page? All right, now, who's updated either of their profiles in the past month? Okay, and some of these people were in my last class, so I know they did. Who's done it in the past 6 months or the past year? I know you did because that was in February at Chicago. I mean, just like the rest of your life, your social media needs to be updated. I know a number of people in here that have added services or maybe changed a focus in how they're coaching, and you need to make sure that that gets out to your tribe. Because they kind of need to know what you're doing if they're going to come and have you do things. But first, I'm going to give you just a little word from our sponsor, which is, of course, me. Back a while ago, I worked at the University of Illinois when the internet was being born before Al Gore invented it. So we had the people that were designing the web 3 doors down the hall from me. So I kind of a little bit know what's going on, and guess what? It's changed all the time since then. I think Wednesday, one of the big social media who has posted like 10 different changes that have happened on Facebook business pages since the beginning of this summer. So it's always changing, and I am, just to try to help my clients, always keeping up with changes. My daughter and I went to WeSource in the City a week ago, and on the way back, we listened to podcasts in the car, drove her crazy. She was ready to throttle me by the time we got to Naperville. Can we listen to something else? We have headphones, put on yours. And just in order to kind of open up a little bit more options for questions for you guys, on August 28th, in the morning at 9:30 in the WeSource Facebook group, I will be having an open question and answer session where I'll just start a thread and you can ask questions and I will answer them. It will be limited to an hour. I'm not giving any more than an hour away, Jean, okay? So WeSource, as we know, is a great group. We have people that help us how to do our 30 seconds. We have people that help us how to keep our house clean. We have people that can help us organize our offices, how to look good on the inside or the outside of our house, like Laura will paint. And I'm just going to help you with your online presence. If you look at the handout, the first thing we see is Marissa's gorgeous face. And
I didn't know.
You didn't know? No. But the next thing we see next to that is 120 characters. Consultant, speaker, coach, trainer. Some people make use of that 120 characters and some don't. And those 120 characters are pure gold if you use them right. So we'll spend the first little bit of time here talking about how those are gold. Okay, who's done a Google search recently for anybody? If you look a little bit further down on the page here, you'll see how Jean LaValle will show up, her LinkedIn will show up on a Google search. And where it's highlighted, that shows what her headline is. It's also the same thing for Allison Choisick. That one. And Amanda Wittenborn, hers actually doesn't show anything because she doesn't have anything in there, her headline. So your headline is what people see, and it's what you want people to see. So you can see how that will show up in a Google search. If you go down a little further, you'll see a post that Heidi did, and that shows what her headline says, that she does help with self-publishing. Now, if you go down a little further, and this is where it gets to be real gold if you notice it. So Wanda commented on something that a friend of hers did, and her friend works in Caring Transitions. Has anybody here ever bought a new car? Like you buy a silver minivan and then you're driving down the street and what do you see? Silver minivans all over the place. When you're looking for something, your radar starts to pick it up. So for an example, last year my husband's mom had some health issues, and had we been looking for somebody for Caring Transitions, any kind of transitional living, we might have noticed that Wanda knew somebody that helped with that. And I could call Wanda and say, hey Wanda, who's this person? What's she like? Is she any good? What do you know about her? And this person, who I've never met and know nothing about, would come to me with somebody's recommendation. And Wanda would be honest with me. She's not going to shout out somebody if she doesn't, she just wouldn't shout out somebody if she didn't know good things about them. So it's those 120 characters are not only important for how your connections see you, they're also important for how your connections see you. Looks to me like we have a number of women in here that are of a certain age and might remember a commercial about shampoo where one person told two friends and that person told two friends.
So on and so on and so on.
That's exactly how this works. You find out something from your friends or your connections or the people that you have already developed some trust with. So when we do my LinkedIn workshops, a few of you have been in those, we actually spend some time looking at these 120 characters. But what you need to think about with those 120 characters is how do you want to show up, and how do you want to show up to the people that don't know you? Because those 120 characters are all about how you show up on LinkedIn and beyond. Now, if you flip the page over, there's a little F at the top here. This is our Facebook portion of our talk. Yes, and you don't have a headline on Facebook, but you can have an About page. And your About page can connect to your Facebook business. And you want to do that. Two reasons. If you don't have a business page on Facebook, it is against the terms and conditions of Facebook to try to run business on there. You shouldn't be promoting a business. Sure, if you've gone to your annual conference and you can show a picture of yourself, or like Barb Hollick put a picture about how she wants to go to Jamaica next year if she sells enough chocolate. You know, one or two things like that is fine. But if you're constantly trying to sell, you could get put in Facebook timeout. You could lose it for days or weeks or months, and I'm in a number of the Facebook social media groups. Nobody's figured out exactly how they figure out that kind of stuff. It's just all of a sudden people will disappear. There's a business called Social Media Examiner. It's like the top social media. They lost their Facebook page for some reason. And they knew enough people that they could manage to get through there and get it back. But if you don't do the right things, you could lose it. You might not, you might. But is it something that you want to take a chance at? So you want to make sure you have your business, and you want to make sure that you have your About. And one of the reasons you want that connected to your personal profile is, let's say, Wanda, she does the videos. I want to tell somebody about her stuff. I can connect them directly as long as she's got it right there on the side of her page. If she doesn't, by the time I dig around and look for it, I'll have forgotten because my husband will have wanted something, or one of the kids will ask what's for dinner, or the laundry, and my life will be moving on to the next step. So now if you'll see on this, I've got a picture from the WeSource group page. This is part of how the members list shows up. Someday, WeSource will have their own website, and we'll have all our members listed, and we'll have what they do. Right now, we don't have that. Somebody called me up and wanted me to refer them to somebody who did something. I don't remember exactly what. But I knew there were WeSos people that did that. So I went to the WeSos member page and I just glanced to see what people did. And the ones that had it listed, I passed that information on to them. And the ones that didn't, if I'm just glancing down the list looking for somebody who does mindset mentoring, that's all I'm going to see. I'm not going to remember who does what if I haven't seen them in 6 months. So that's a great way to keep in touch with people, exactly what you're doing. And let's look at Allison. I put her down here twice. If you look at her page, it'll show that she's owner at Map the Magic and owner at AMC Legal. But when she shows up in the group, she only shows up as her top thing. So you want to make sure that you're thinking a little bit about what you want to show up at the top of your about. And I hate to tell you this, Facebook does not make that easy. You have to juggle around a number of different dates and things if you want to make sure the right thing appears on top. I'm just going to use myself as an example because I was doing this to test it out for somebody. So I am social media consultant at Mary Wu Virtual Assistant. I also added myself on as angel investor at AW Snapshots. If I put that in and say I started that in 2016, which technically I did, that will be the first thing that shows up because that's the most recent thing I've done. I don't want that to be the first thing that shows up. It's really not what's bringing in, the bacon right now. So I had to kind of go back in through there and wiggle around back doors and sneak around and stuff and say that I've been an angel investor since 2003, which is when she got off the plane from China, and I figure I've been investing in her since then. But you have to kind of jiggle dates. Now, the only people that are going to know this are the people in this room, so don't tell anybody. The people that watch Wanda's video, so don't tell anybody. Or the people that actually bother to click on the about and then click on all the little various things to see where things were. So it's not a really big thing to the people that are looking at your public page, but it is important to you if you want to make sure that the right thing is at the top of your list. So if you're changing your business name, you want to make sure that you appear in the right order. And I can really kind of help you dig around with this if you want, but again, it's not something that I can do in a 15-minute talk in front of everybody else. So both on LinkedIn and on Facebook, either on your LinkedIn on your headline or your Facebook on your about, these are really easy things to change, but you want to think about how you want to be seen, how you want people to be able to dig around and find you, and what you want to appear higher in the list. I got a couple of things to hand out here, a couple of more handouts, because I know that WeSo sisters are the most wonderful people in the world.
Yes, we are.
We are. But I also know that nobody here does everything.
That's right.
I don't. Do not ask me to teach somebody how to do an elevator speech. Do not ask me to paint any exteriors or interiors. Do not ask me to organize a closet. Do not ask me to fairy godmother shop with you. Shopping to me is like I click on it on Amazon and it appears at my house. So I got a list of names of people that I've worked with and that I trust and that I've seen their portfolios that can help you in different aspects of your online life. And I'm passing those out. And I put in people that aren't necessarily in WeSos that I know are good at this, but WeSos members have little highlights next to them. So if you want to make sure, you can maybe call them first, unless you have a relationship with other people or that particular person doesn't fit well with you right now. But I want to make sure that we promote each other because we've got some really brilliant people in this room. Some people, if you're sitting here going, Mary, what am I supposed to do with these 120 characters, that can help you flesh that out. There's also some copywriters that if you're working on your summary or if you want to get more detailed on your profile, that can help you flesh those words out in exactly what you want to do. Or if you happen to be doing a great presentation and want somebody to videotape it, who can do that? Or if you need a profile photo, which is one of the things that we go over in my LinkedIn workshop about how important the profile photos are. There's people that can help you with that. And another thing is just sort of to save space in general. I did not put my new sort of brochures on the table, but you can pass these out. If you want to keep it, that's fine. If you want to give it back, that's also fine. One of the other things I do, which this talk is not talking much about, is I help people with mailing lists. Like to help people with mailing lists. Like to build my own mailing lists. One of the things I like to remind people is if you want to add somebody to your mailing list, you have to tell them. So if you want to be added to my mailing list, find out about upcoming workshops and stuff, you could put your card in here. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. Except for if you do put your card in there, another thing I really like to tell people is I want them to be visible on social media. I want them writing blog posts. I want them sending newsletters. I want them writing posts on LinkedIn. And some people are like, Mary, what do I write about? I don't know, but Heidi does. So if you put your name in there, somebody will draw a card and you can win this wonderful book, 101 Business Writing Prompts from our own Dr. Heidi Thorne. Because guess what? I haven't written a book about business writing prompts, but Heidi has, and I've used it a little bit. You can maybe tell if you look at the corners that yes, I have used it a little bit. So now, does anybody have any really pressing questions in the next like 2 minutes? Yes?
Okay, regarding I forget how many characters you said, but those
120.
That's it, the 120 characters.
Correct. That's every space, anything.
I put my thing in more of a paragraph form instead of like I see Marissa's is more in a like keyword
You
form.
could do it however you want. It's how you show up though.
Okay.
So the whole paragraph would show up.
120 characters. If you try to do a paragraph, you get the first 120 characters.
Yeah, I mean, I just put it in so that it's like a short description or something.
Yeah, I think I saw yours, and I think that's pretty good.
It's okay. Okay.
Yeah, just, you want to make sure that people see. And there, like Allison has hers pretty plain, and other people I know have little like stars and stuff in there. You could do whatever you want. It should reflect kind of on your personality and the personality of your business. And if you look at the personality, yes. Oh, see, because when we did Marissa's, we found a background and put a little microphone in there because she's a speaker. And if you look at the bottom of that comment form that I sent out, my next couple of workshops are on there. Every month I'll do a 3-hour, bring your laptop, we're going to do it ourselves and get it done in 3 hours on LinkedIn. And then the opposite months, I do the same thing on Facebook. So you get to bring it in and we work on it and we get it done. Because I have a question. Who here is going to go home and update their LinkedIn profile? Okay, and who here is going to go home and update their Facebook profile? And guess what? If you don't, I'll be saying, I got these workshops coming up, and some people can't do it themselves. They can, but they don't set aside that time. They don't prioritize that time to do it. A year ago, this wonderful, brilliant person gave me a website review. I never went back through and did the changes that were suggested. But I'm fairly certain that if I had handed that person, $125, I would have gone back and done that. Because sometimes if you throw a little bit of an investment in there, you'll appreciate the value of something more than if somebody's just handing it to you. Just like Marissa with her 30-second thing. I'm going to work on my thing. I'm going to do that. And then you don't really. So what I want you to do is really do it, because I want everybody in here to build their business. I want everybody's business to get better. I want you all so busy that when you will be coming to me, begging me to help you with stuff, because you just have too much to do and not enough time to do it all. And if it's something I can't help you with, I want you to have the other WeSo sisters doing this. You can ask me a question. Pardon?
About LinkedIn, so some of them have logos and some of them have faces in the profile picture.
Okay, I personally for most people, prefer a face. So let's say you want to do a one-on-one with somebody. Let's say you want to talk to somebody from one of the Canine Companion places, and you're going to meet with them somewhere. It's a Canine Companion place down in Charleston or something, and you're going to meet them in Mattoon or something. If you walk into a place and don't know who you're meeting with, you might actually want to have seen a picture on them. I know people that won't meet with ghosts or won't meet with logos because they want to know who they're walking in to meet with. And on that list I sent out, there are some photographers listed. There are more. They could do great profile photos, and I'm going to have a quick sip. Yes.
Do you teach how to do Facebook ads and the Power Editor thing for putting Facebook ads out?
I can help with Facebook ads. Those actually have changed it about
Yeah, they change all the time. They change them
3 times this summer. I think I've had 3 different. So if you keep that bag around, then I can pull out the thing and tell you who wins Heidi's book.
And I wanted to add, with LinkedIn, I don't request a link with anybody that doesn't have a face. I just don't.
And
I don't know
different.
who's dead or alive.
Okay, my time's up, so we need the bag to come around so I can finish the drawing. Yeah, and if you're going to refer somebody through LinkedIn, kind of like double check with them. So all the people that are on that list I passed out, I've literally talked to them all in the past week and said, hey, you know, are you still at it? And is this still what you're doing? And do you want me to refer people to you? Marissa, I'm going to trust that is.
I do, but you know what? I do pull my own name, but I know what my card, what mine is, so I'm not going to pull mine because I know what mine feels like. Exactly.
Ooh, Linda Herrick. And Linda, if you have Heidi's book, pass this along to an appropriate person. Thank you, ladies. Oh, can I do one other thing real quick? On the back of that card, it says that 30 minutes is a certain price and 60 minutes is a certain price. If you talk to me between now and noon Monday, and you reserve a 30-minute session, you'll get 45 minutes. If you reserve a 60-minute session, you'll get 90 minutes. Just as kind of a, so thank you.